Gemini, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive. We're going to be looking at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy, Taurus season. We just officially moved into Taurus season. And we're going to be ending this week on the 27th with a new moon in Taurus. So new moons really give us the opportunity to set new intentions. And it's needed right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot about relationships being highlighted, places where there are many disconnects or things that need our attention, things that need more of our focus, that need to be addressed, or else they're going to get really messy. Or they already are, right? They already are getting messy. They already are kind of just like popping off this way and that. We had a lot of water element in Aries season. And now that we've moved into Taurus, it's grounding out a little bit. But ironically or not, the fire element is enlivening. So it's really kind of putting that fire in our belly to make things happen, but at the same time, it can also cater to that anger, that frustration, that aggression, like wanting things to change. Mars has been weirdly aspected for a minute. It was in retrograde a few months ago and we're really having a hard time pushing things forward, finding new ways, new approaches, or actually seeing that new change come in. It's kind of been this weird, awkward in-between space where things haven't completely ended, but things haven't started either. That's why I like to start off these readings with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any of the blocks, frustrations, obstacles we might be coming into. It's also a really great time to set your own intention, especially if you've come into this reading with something on your heart, something on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, that type of thing, or if you are just looking for more of a realignment of self, of mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling strong, grounded, supported in who we are and what we think and how we feel, that's when we're more apt to make choices that bring us happiness and fulfillment. Not the stuff that's short-lived or that seems like it's going to be good for a hot minute or, whatever. It actually brings us contentment, peace, joy, all those things that we deserve to have in this life. I know life is crazy, right? Life is super crazy and those things are kind of altruistic, but it's a nice idea, right? Or at least to kind of bring as much of that possible into our own lives. So with that, I would love to support. I would love to help in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Gemini, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, Gemini. So it's, there has been a lot in the astrology. It's kind of hard not to focus on the negative. There's just been a lot of activity is what I mean. Both good and bad, right? But like I said, the bad is kind of outweighing the good right now. Not really in terms of like transits, because actually we have a lot of support, but it's the things that we are moving through, the heaviness, the places where there are bigger changes happening in our lives. It can feel a little overwhelming. And I do hear like you have been spending some time in that shoulda, woulda, coulda mentality. Like if only it had worked out this way, if only I had done this, if only this had happened, etc. And I feel like you know, it's a readjustment that is coming from this space of readjusting. Unfortunately, we can't change the past, and not to be a Debbie Downer by saying that at all, but I love this kudzu. Kudzu is like a binder in food and cooking, and it actually is very strengthening. And this is what it's all about, right? It's about bringing into fruition through your willpower, through your strength, like bringing your abundance to light through the hard work that you do. Not only just hard work, like I feel like you've kind of, even though like, okay, I'm hearing it's like you wish things would have worked out differently, and you are kind of out of that, out of the whatever situation is still kind of weighing on your soul. There's been some things that have given you that quote unquote like light at the end of the tunnel, like there is hope, but it also feels like there's a little bit of things that you have to do in order to get there. And it does look like it's specifically centered around working with someone or something, or maybe this is a group of people to kind of make this happen, or you need support in order to make this happen is what I'm hearing. And I think that there's still some hesitancy is what I'm picking up. There's still some like hesitancy, some fear. It's that shoulda, woulda, coulda that I was talking about. Whatever that is that you're ruminating over, it's influencing like your ability to feel strong, to feel put together, to feel like you can accomplish this or overcome it. For some of you, this is about leaving something behind, something that you have held dear for a while. And for others, it's just about really pursuing some level of success, level of growth, abundance for yourself. It looks like you've had a really hard time speaking up though. I feel like for those of you that are dealing with someone who is aggressive, who's assertive, someone who's kind of like dominating is what I'm hearing. It's been hard for you to speak up, or maybe this is just something in your past that has kind of left you with these scars, left you with these wounds. But like I said, it does, Ace of Wands, like you're feeling inspired to move on. It's not like I don't get this vibe of you like wallowing in your misery. The Ace of Wands is super creative. It's like endless potential. It's like, okay, I like, you believe, but not, if that makes sense, right? You believe you can do it, but there's this part of you, again, that's a little fearful, not good, bad, right, or wrong. This is a lot of just like places where you haven't been allowed to express yourself or speak your truth. I'm seeing like, you've had to be calculated, or that's what you've chosen because you didn't want to offend anyone. You didn't want to push anyone's buttons in the wrong way. However, whatever this person's situation is that you're tiptoeing around, it's really kind of starting to come to light. What the dynamic is. Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of like, I don't know, like someone can't like maintain themselves or keep themselves put together. And I don't necessarily feel like this is from you. But you're seeing this, right? Like either you're getting two sides of someone, right? Sometimes they seem incredibly stable, incredibly like practical, and that makes sense, and you feel safe and secure. And then you get this other part of them, the King of Cups, that's just like all over the place, right? Someone who can't really handle their shit, unfortunately. But you know, I feel like I don't know whether like you've been partnered up with this person, or you feel like I feel like you need them on some level, or that's how you're interpreting it, you know? Yeah, to the best of your ability. I don't know, like you're giving someone a chance because of the history that's there, because of what you guys do share together. And I feel like, I don't know, it kind of looks like this person's situation gives you just enough. It's not specifically a breadcrumbing energy, but it's like someone said, like, I don't really want to invest too much. You know, I'll give you a little bit, but not too much, because they kind of have their own stuff going on, right? They're lost in their own world. And with them vibing as the King of Pentacles as well as King of Cups, it really is just talking about how they want to have the control. They want to be able to assert how things go. You can get what you want, but it's if you work with them, right? And this is where that strength, willpower comes into play. Maybe this is something that you really wanted. Maybe once upon a time it looked really good on the surface, and maybe it's not so much right now, you know? Because as much as things aren't like horrible, it also feels like there's a lot of disconnect. There's a lot of like half-ass, half-hearted attempts. And you're watching this, I feel like you kind of just don't even know what to make sense of this, right? Because again, like it definitely has these gaslighting vibes, whether this is someone intentionally doing it or like this is just because like 1 minute they're like this and the next minute they're like that. And you kind of are just like, what? You know, like thankfully you're just kind of standing in the background, like watching and waiting and like, okay, you don't want to make any moves, like sudden moves, you know, but, well, here's the thing. You have some other support coming in. You have some other support coming in that's actually helping you kind of like identify and see. And it's coming to a point where something will need to be done about this. And I feel like it is directly in alignment with you like speaking your truth, right? Like, I feel like you actually have to be honest with whatever the situation is. It doesn't mean you have to, you know, make a big argument or fight. I feel like that's part of what you're hesitant about. You don't want it to be worse than what it needs to be. But at the same time, there is a misconception. This person's situation doesn't really understand what you want or need. And part of that is, yes, you're not saying it, no shade, but part of that's because you don't feel comfortable to say it, right? Like you're not feeling comfortable. And I feel like at the same time, you're trying to gather information. That's also the hard thing about gaslighting is it's really hard to see truth, you know? And we really have to kind of take a step back and disengage and make sure that we're not taking responsibility for someone else's stuff. And that's exactly what it looks like you're doing this week. I feel like it's more, like I said, gathering information, maybe even trying a different approach. Like I kind of feel like you're going to be like happy and light and give them what they want and just, you know, and see how that works out. And I feel like you're still going to get the same results, right? Yeah, you already know this. You already know this. Your intuition is telling you. But again, I feel like there is a lot of fear. It's kind of going back to that beginning of shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's fear and it's responsibility. Fear that like of the change, of the what is going to happen, of what you can kind of like sense this person's situation is gonna do, or how they're gonna react, how they're gonna respond, not necessarily giving you what they want. But that's not about you. That's about them, right? That's about their inability. And again, I feel like this theme for you this week is about strengthening yourself. And maybe you do feel like this proverbial fawn, right? Beginnings, willingness, opportunity. This is, you know, when we're young and innocent and we believe everyone is like, you know, good, whatever that is. So give yourself, don't harp on yourself for feeling a little bit naive or unsteady. This is all about information, informing yourself, because when you have what you need, then you're going to be able to intercede in this situation accordingly, right? Then it's not going to feel so scary. Then you're going to actually have the confidence and the power that you need to stand up. I love this medicine wheel. It's so healing. It really just talks about how whatever your spiritual practice is, to remind yourself that you do have help, you do have support on the other side. And there's a reason that spirit is guiding, directing you in certain ways. It might not feel great. It might not feel comfortable. But again, this is so much about like building in your courage, your belief in yourself and in what you deserve. Yeah, your heart. I love that. Unlocking the key to your heart. I love that. A little cheese ball moment for me, but you know, I can be a little cheese. So I think this is so important. If we're not connected to our heart, if we're disconnecting, if we're allowing other people's agendas to infiltrate our lives, that's not a fun way to live, right? It means that we're going to be under their power and control. It means that we're giving away our power and control. And I feel like you're in this phase where this is difficult because it is someone who means a lot to you, who is close to you, etc. someone that you don't necessarily want to have to go through this with, but you kind of are, right? And these are just, the energy is weird, the astrology is weird. There's a lot of changes, a lot of unexpected changes that we're moving through, and like people are popping off left and right. It's a weird time, but there is hope on the horizon. I feel like it's really highlighting places where we need to honor ourselves, honor our own life, you know, and create that disconnect, create that autonomy for ourselves and that disconnect from the toxicity. So heavy, but you got this, Gemini. You got it. Double thumbs. All right. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated here with you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Now I'm sending it back your way.